This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're back to the fucking tier list. We know you guys have been begging for the fucking tier list to come back. Today we're going to be doing a pretty brutal one. Most likely MBTI type to be a billionaire. Okay, you guys know we have our metrics, and there is a list of the top 100 billionaires. We have typed a good amount. What would you say, about 10% of them, Thomas? 10, 12, 15% of the top 100 billionaires?
Yeah, I'd say, realistically at least 10%.
Yeah, so we got an idea of like the pattern that's most likely panning out for the billionaires. So it's gonna be fun. I think this is gonna be a brutal one because everybody wants to be at the fucking top, but that's just not fucking reality. Okay, some people have tools that allow them to make it to the top, and this time we're talking about billionaires. So we're not talking about who this person is on average. It's okay. Why would this person be a billionaire? Why would this person not be a billionaire? Right? Because we're not gonna be like, okay, all INTPs are in the fucking basement. Okay, we're gonna be looking at the INTPs that are billionaires. Okay. Zara, anything y'all want to say before we get into this?
I think, like, again, this is going to be the aggregate billionaire. Most people are never going to become billionaires, nor will they ever accumulate any power in this world. So, but we're overall. So this list is based off of the current billionaires and how they rose to the top. So, again, we're taking aggregates. We're not. Then these people are generally exceptions to the rule. So just kind of take that into consideration when we're going through the metrics.
And save your tears, man. Save your tears. Like we don't care. Um,
Save your tears for another day. All right. So number one is complex monetization. The definition being the ability to solve extremely complex problems and to convert the solution to a massive a massive economic value. Why this matters: most billionaires become wealthy by solving problems that scale to millions or billions of people. Examples: Elon Musk with electric vehicles, rockets, AI, Bill Gates operating systems, Jeff Bezos logistics plus internet commerce, and Larry Page search algorithms. Cognitive advantage, abstract modeling, systematic thinking, and technical or strategic innovation are necessary. Number two, scalable system creation. The definition to design systems that produce value repeatedly without requiring the creator's direct labor. This includes software platforms, global supply chains, financial systems, and technological infrastructure. This matters because a billionaire can rely on labor income. They must create systems that multiply output. Examples: Jeff Bezos with logistics systems, Mark Zuckerberg with a social network platform, and Warren Buffett with capital allocation systems. This takes cognitive advantage, strategic architecture, long range planning, and process optimization. Number three is conversion efficiency. The definition being the ability to convert limited resources, time, money, talent, and attention into large outcomes. This matters because billionaires are essentially extreme resource converters. Of examples being Sam Altman turned research labs into multi-billion-dollar AI companies. Elon Musk reinvest capital across multiple industries, and Peter Thiel early high leverage investments. This requires cognitive advantage, strategic leverage, risk calculation, and capital allocation.
All right, guys. So those are our metrics. They're pretty brutal, man. It's basically like, can you solve complex problems for millions of people? That's generally what makes people a billionaire. We know that like the value of money has dropped quite a bit, and now you're seeing a lot more sports athletes become billionaires. So we will adjust for that. But generally speaking, it's like, can you solve complex fucking problems for people? Okay, those people who can do that and can generate new ideas that the world's never seen before and ease other people's lives will become billionaires. Those who cannot will work for those people. Okay, that's just the brutal truth.
All right, so here are the categories. So for S tier, we're going billionaire DNA. That's gonna be the best of the best. We're gonna have A tier is gonna be tycoons. Um, the next tier is C tier, so that's gonna be unlikely but not impossible. This is gonna be people who are mid range. They have some potential, but probably not much, because I think most people are cooked. Most people don't really have the skills, the toolbox to get to the top tiers there. We have D tier, so this is a billionaire in another life. So if it doesn't work out for you in this one, maybe you luck out, and you play your cards right in this one, and the next life you're in a better spot to become a billionaire. F tier, so this is shut the fuck up, you're whale shit.
But they shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the
Like, no, this type, they have almost pretty much no shot at becoming a billionaire. So those are the
You better
tiers.
have good inheritance. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Good
Or
inheritance,
you
win the
better be,
Powerball. I don't know.
sleep with one. Or you better sleep with one.
All right. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious, man. This, like we
That's your
said,
only
guys, this
pass.
is gonna be brutal. You guys know we're gonna be brutal as fuck. All right, Zara, you're starting us off. Where are we going on here?
All right, this is gonna get spicy. Ian, I guess we'll start with the NFJ D tier instantly.
All right, so why you got him there, man?
Unless you're got a nice inheritance or you're marrying in to a family, you're not going to become a billionaire most likely. You just don't have the systematic thinking. I mean, you do somewhat have you do have somewhat some long-term thinking abilities, but it's just less likely for you essentially. I mean, the reality is that you got to be innovative. You got to be able to think in systems and in complex manners. I just don't think that they really have this ability. I don't think they have the capital allocation resource or the resources or know how to delegate their time in a way that would help them accelerate their path to the top. And I think they're not cutthroat enough, because I think to be a billionaire, you got to kind of be able to leverage and exploit other people in the process. So you got to be able to kind of be able to do that. And I think that this type in particular is less likely to be able to do so, because they're FE hero. Like, let's just be realistic. And then you got TI inferior with TE demon. Like, how are you gonna really climb up to the top? Like, it's kind of absurd.
Thomas, anything?
Well, I would just also say that as a type, um, it's not only that did they not really have the tools, but I don't think they have the desire to really.
That too.
They don't have the desire to be economically or like financially successful. They're not looking to climb the ladder. They have TE demon. But I will say, just as an honorable mention, Magic Johnson is, I don't know if he's a billionaire, but he is.
Pretty
He's
well.
Yeah.
he's done very well for himself, so that there is, like, there is that oddball chance that that's what prevents them, I think, from being completely well shit. There is that tiny chance maybe they become an athlete and they play their cards right, and they get into that kind of position, but otherwise, yeah, I think they're cooked.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, like, unless you're marrying into a family or you got a nice or you got a nice inheritance, it's more unlikely for you. Or if you're an athlete in another case. So again, I think, like, if you leverage your cards right in those three domains, then yeah, you may become a billionaire, but it's less likely for you. Yeah, I just think your chances are much smaller to be in an ENFJ in general. I don't think that you're really have the peak potential to become a billionaire
Yeah.
in general. Just in general.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're pretty much cooked, man. They're pretty much cooked. from the aspect of like TI, inferior TE demon. So they're not the most complex when it comes to thinking, and a lot of times you got to solve very complex problems that other people cannot solve a lot of times, or come up with some type of innovation. I think the best path for them is usually athletes, or you could be one of those fucking pastors who siphon off money through tides and
Yeah.
shit.
Mr. Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you.
That's a good one
That
for
too.
them.
That's
You
another
could be
one.
one of them damn
That
pastors.
that is actually a really good point. That is really a good point.
Like you could siphon off the fuck out of people's money by doing that. But I really think overall ENFJs are terrible with finances and they're terrible with money.
Dr. Umar.
You just they're just terrible with money and they're terrible with finances. I mean, I honestly, yes, it's definitely in another life. There's just the sports athletes that are saving them right now because they could be in shut the fuck up. You're a well shit, okay? But yeah, I totally do agree here. We keep them here for right now. All right, Thomas, where we going?
Well, I think I'm going to spear one of the whales. So I think we have to put ISFJ in the bottom. They're gonna be one of the
I think we'll do
the
that.
many types that are on the bottom. But as a type, I mean they're one of the types that they're like the worker bees. So they're gonna stick to, they have SI hero. They're gonna stick to the tried and true. They're not going to be breaking new territory. I mean, they are systematic, but they're not going to be creating new systems or solving new problems, solving complex problems. They're going to be sticking to like the beaten path, what's already known, what's already been done. So unfortunately, like, that's you're not going to become a billionaire by just sticking to what's already been done. And plus, they have that TE trickster, so it's not like, we could probably think of some types who, for instance, maybe they get involved in construction or some kind of business and they're able to scale it up. I think as a type that, even assuming they owned a business of any kind, I don't think they have like the capacity, because, again, they're concrete, they're SI hero. I don't think they really have the capacity to scale it up to a degree where they're going to be making buku bucks. For this type, is there?
I again, like, I think that again, you either are getting a massive inheritance or you're marrying into some good money. That's it. Like, in general, I don't think they're making it there, but nor do I think they really have the ambition to do so. I don't think they're cutthroat enough. It does take some a high level of strategic thinking, capital allocation, and I just don't think that they really.
All right, so we're going next.
Let's go with the ESFP. I would say for the most part, shut the fuck up.
But they shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Whale shit. I look. The thing is that they don't have the systematic thinking nor the long range perspective, so they can't really see future trends. They don't really they're so caught up in the moment that I just don't think that they really have the wherewithal nor the ancillary thought process to get to billionaire status. I just don't. I think it takes a certain amount of mental models and conceptualization to be able to get there. And the ESFP just lacks that conductivity to get there. And I just don't think they have the mental acuity to be able to to chart a path towards becoming a billionaire. And I think that they're just, again, I think they're too wound up in the moment to really be able to forego pleasure for long periods of time in general, unless they're the only reason they would ever become a billionaire is inheritance. Maybe they marry into a good family, or they become an athlete and they leverage their cards well and have
Shit.
smarter people handle their money.
Shit, I don't even know if they're an athlete. They'll be able to keep it. I don't
It's
even think.
no, but no,
Mayweather.
I said they would have to be, but I don't see
Shit, I
that.
don't even think they'd be able to keep it.
I mean it. Yeah,
They'd be a
I mean,
billionaire for like 3 days.
no, but they would probably blow it on coke, like I was just saying. But they would have to have someone manage it for them long term. Like they just don't. I just think they have that sort of capability. And besides that, I bet some accountant's gonna screw them. Like, that's just. I think that's the reality of their predicament. I just don't see them being able to carve a path towards it.
Yeah.
in all sincerity.
Yeah, T, anything?
There's not much I could really add. I think they're the only really. I think really the only hope they have is if they're like Mayweather. They're an athlete. They're like the best at what they do. But billionaire status. That's just I think that's for the most part is gonna be outside their realm. For the reasons that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, unless they are in show business, I mean, but for the most part, that's not going to happen. And number two, I just don't think that they will be able to accumulate the capital necessary or leverage their resources to to let their money grow. It's just not in their domain. But I'm not saying it's not, it's nearly impossible. It's 0 to 0.
yeah. I
It's
think
pretty
with
close.
I think with these guys, it's even if you had the best case scenario like Mayweather or whatnot, they still fuck themselves when it comes to taxes and like all these other things outside of that. So it ends up like taking all of that away. If Mayweather wasn't able to keep like pulling like essentially heist,
We got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone.
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money.
is what I call it because he's literally just heisting the money away because he picks
With
fights
those
that
slides, yeah.
he has zero chance of losing, and he goes and spends all that money again and forgets to pay his taxes. And we all know Uncle Sam comes for you, and Uncle Sam wants his money. So he ends up taking fights in the future to pay off the taxes that he have now. So it
And then he doesn't have the money for the taxes that he'll have to pay now since he got into another fight.
yeah. So it
Like,
just becomes that loop thing there. I don't think
just a
most
dead
people can.
spiral.
I don't think most people in general can galvanate the public enough to want to give them money like Mayweather does. I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally a
yeah,
fucking heist. It's literally a fucking
yeah.
heist.
Yeah,
But most ESPs or whatnot, even the whatever, they're not gonna be able to do that. They're not good with money. They want to live up. They want to have these great experiences. That's more their forte. I mean, thinking about complex problems to solve for other people, that's not the thing. That's interfering with enjoying the moment and being in the moment and fully experiencing life, right? So that's gonna be no for them. Okay. All right. T, where we going?
I guess let's get ESFJ out of the way as well. This is going to be another one of the types that's on the bottom for pretty much very similar reasons to the ISFJ. I think like if you go back to our video on whatever the one we did on I think it was like average wealth, but whatever. I think they probably have a little bit more potential than the ISFJ. I put them a little bit ahead of them. But again, they're going to pretty much have all the same weaknesses that the ISFJ has. They're gonna stick to the beaten path. They don't have the NI to really chart a course to see to see emerging problems to come up with a creative solution to problems in the world. So yeah, I would put them down bottom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's much we can really say about the ESFJ. It's pretty much the same blueprint as the SFJ here. I do think that they do have a little bit more upside with any child, right? They're a little bit more open to the possibilities and things of that nature.
Yeah,
Trying something new, but I just don't think that they're going to translate to anything where it becomes billionaires. Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, just not it. Zara, anything you want to say?
Yeah. Again, just they just lack the long range thinking. I just don't think they have the lateral ability to think of divergent paths to get there. I besides, I don't even know if it's really in their forte or even desire to become a billionaire. And I think you got to have a lot of ambition, and I don't think they're willing to sacrifice time for that. So, hence, I just don't think they'll become a billionaire most likely unless they landed into some family
Yeah.
or some inheritance for the most part.
Like the royal family, if they're in that royal family and shit like that, they usually
Yeah, like that's the only way.
yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
the
isn't Meghan Markle in
No,
ESF? I don't know.
I
Or
think
Harry?
Harry might be ESFJ.
yeah, I think
He
so.
might be.
Yeah, I think, and then I think
But I
Williams
mean,
is
that's the only way
ISFJ.
my point being, that's the only way you become a billionaire. If
Yeah,
you're an ESFJ, be born into the right family,
yeah.
be a Rothschild, be a Rockefeller.
Mhm. I mean, at least they'll hold on to it. That's the one
They
thing about
will.
these guys. These guys are actually holding on to ESFP. Probably gonna burn that bitch. Okay.
They'll destroy the family legacy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's one thing. Yeah, I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna put ESCP last. Fuck it. At
Oh,
least these
they're
guys will be
trash.
able to
They're trash.
maintain. At least these people, if they got the billionaires, they'd be able to maintain the ESCP by the blow this shit up. Like, come on. All right. So what we
Enneagram
going to?
7.
It's back to me. Let's go. I would say INFP probably D tier.
Yeah.
I don't think they. The thing is most of them are like. Let's be honest. They probably are in the camp that believe their billionaires shouldn't exist in the first place because they think it's labor exploitation. I'm just being honest. So honestly, I just don't think that they really value that in life. I think that they want to take a creative path, and I think that it has to be aligned with their with how they feel. So and their aesthetics. So it's just unlikely unless you're born into it. I mean, like Rockefeller was an INFP, but
Rothschild.
Rothschild.
Rothschild, thank you. But anyhow, yeah, he was an INFP, but again he was born into he got an inheritance. So again, I think that kind of influenced that. I don't think he was doing it by himself. Like most people, like I think you either gotta have good inheritance, you either marry into a really good family, or you come up with some innovation
Yeah.
that takes the hold of the market. Like those are really the three paths you usually get for becoming a billionaire,
Yeah.
or you're really good at capital allocation.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
The really four.
when you think about the best like INFPs, I mean Michael Jackson, he was able to make a lot of money, but like bro just blew it up.
Yeah, I don't think they care. I just don't
No,
think they care about
no.
like capital accumulation and compounding interest in general. I just don't think like I don't think that's really what they strive for in life. I think they want to enjoy it
Yeah.
more.
I think they just when they make like a lot of money like that, they're gonna feel guilty and feel like they should
Yeah.
give it away. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're also gonna be
That too.
thinking about like trying to alleviate other people's suffering by
Yeah.
trying to do something with their money or like it's just it. Like I'll never forget like my best friend used to be like buying random people fucking food, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Like if they ain't got their fucking money, they don't deserve to fucking eat. She's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, fuck out of here, bro. You better start think. These motherfuckers better get their shit together. But
Yeah.
they want to alleviate other people's suffering and shit like that.
They
And
do.
if they think they got it, then they should give it. So they're not becoming billionaires unless they're from a rich family. Don't throw that one out there. If they're in a rich family, they'll keep that money because INFPs are actually pretty good with like keeping money. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like managing money and shit like that, they're actually way better than people actually think. T, anything you want to say?
I don't think so. There's not really not much to say here. Yeah, I think they're not. Yeah, they don't have they just don't have the right tool set, and I mean, arguably they're not really even in reality enough to to become a billionaire.
All right, T, where we going next?
What are we doing? Maybe let's do ESTP. I think I'll put them in the middle. I think C
Yeah.
tier.
Yeah.
I don't like as a type, I mean, again, very few people are actually going to become billionaire, but I think as a type, they do have some tools that enable them to outshine most people. So I think you're going to probably get some athletes who can potentially get to billionaire status.
LeBron James.
Maybe some performers like you have The Rock. You have The Rock. You have Sylvester Stallone. You have these people who um, they're really able. I guess they're really able to capitalize on the tools that they have. And I think the ones who are like the really successful ESTPs, they're the ones who somehow they're able to pick a path and stay with it, which is I think extremely hard for SE Hero. It's just extremely hard for most types, but yeah, for SE Hero because SE Hero and I Inferior that they kind of they want to explore experiences rather than sticking with the one thing. But I think having SE Hero by nature because they're SE Hero, the ability to make an impact in the moment is going to be very easy for them. So if they're able to kind of like turn that into like a career, Like you find a lot of musicians or ESTPs, and I think you probably can find some who run businesses who are able to
Scale it.
yeah, able to scale it up.
Yeah, I think with these guys, man, the ones that become the billionaires are going to be your Enneagram 3 ESTPs, and I'm telling you, you can't really tell much between the ESTP and the ENTJ, because they know how to like stack money, know how to leverage money, they know how to stay committed to something, and they just overall know how to get things done. So a lot of times you'll see even the athletes. LeBron James is one. I do think that they could get in businesses and scale them pretty well. More of an entrepreneurial spirit, so they can do it. But I mean, they're not like touching up to like the top tier things. I think also like they can maybe patent like mechanical things that they've seen like issues with. That's why a lot of people actually make a lot of money. Is like they'll be saying they're a welder or whatever, and then in the process of being a welder, they will notice like things that could make their jobs easier, and then they will patent that and create that, and then they'll make a lot of money selling that. That's one of the SETI
Yeah.
routes.
That's
that
how
you can
they
go to make a lot of money.
galvanize. That's how they galvanize their way to the top, essentially.
That could be something that makes them pretty good money. I do also know they're very charismatic as well, good with people. And a lot of times to make a lot of money, you can kind of go around the route by being good with people. Sorry, anything you want to say?
I'd have nothing to elaborate on with
All right.
that. You guys hit the main points, hit the crux of the matter.
All right, so we're going
I mean, I think ISTPs is C tier,
yeah.
kind of similar to ASTP, but I think it's actually kind of somewhat less likely because they're less charismatic, and I don't think that they necessarily have the ambition to want it as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are the main reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I but I don't think it's impossible. I think they can be very practical and solve real problems in the world. And so because they encounter said issues and they find a solution to it, I think that they definitely can become billionaires.
Yeah, Michael
But
Jordan
it's
too.
just yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean,
Messi.
well, he's an iconic athlete, but yeah,
Yeah, Messi too. They
yeah.
end up
I
being
mean,
some of
like,
your best athletes, so they end up garnering a lot of money because
yeah,
they could do
I
that.
yeah.
think
That's a
that's
path for
probably
them.
their best route. I mean, as a
Mm-hmm.
type, is
Mm-hmm.
because as a type they have a lot of potential when it comes to athletics. So I think if they're able to become a star athlete, that's probably their best chance of
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, T, where we going next?
I guess let's do ENFP.
Okay, where you want to put them?
I think this one's kind of tricky. I think I'd probably put them in C tier as well.
Mm-hmm. Where you want to put
Um,
in front of the ESTP?
I mean, I guess so.
Okay.
I think with them, I mean, they're very charismatic. They're one of the best when it comes to marketing, maybe the best when it comes to marketing. So if they're able to like kind of like harness their people skills and their marketing abilities, I think they have a lot of potential there. Like if you think of somebody like Tony Robbins, probably ENFP I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to he's able to make a connection with a really large number of people, and he's able to sell them on his ideas. Any hero, he's able to get people to buy in. And then he's scaled it up to like an insane degree, and then he has
Yeah.
all these he has like these workshops and all this shit that he markets to people, and he gets people to spend fucking extraordinary sums of money on shit that they for the most part they can get for free. So I think as a type that's probably the realm where they're gonna make money. Because I think they're not NTs. They're not going to really they're not going to be creating systems or solving like complex problems, like emerging problems in the world. They're NF. So I think if they could find some way to turn their people
Awesome.
focus and their people skills into a lucrative venture, I think that's probably their best opportunity there. But I will say as a type, I do think I think they can do well at almost I think at a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a lot of potential as a type. And just despite having low TI, I think they have enough TE to where I think they could probably operate like in a management kind of position as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they have a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think one thing is they got any hero, and I'll say this about all any heroes. you're one good idea away from having a lot of money, right? I'm gonna roll with you on your any. They're very good at marketing, so they get in companies, and what they end up doing is making your company better by giving you better ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and that allows the person to scale their business. And if they're scaling their business and making good money, then they're gonna feed the ENFP. So the ENFP will do that with like 5 to 6 or 10, 20, 30, maybe 40, 50 clients. And that's how they'll make a good amount of money. That's usually like their best path forward with that. They do have an entrepreneur spirit as well. Like they can run startups and stuff like that. It's just not as likely as the NTs are. But they can do pretty well with that. But generally speaking, they're good with people. They're good at like selling people a dream and getting people to like essentially work for them for free and shit. They're very good at just like overall just selling the dream, making people want to be a part of something. I mean, Tony Robbins gets up there for 16 hours yapping. And I mean, for some people it works. I mean, my best friend went to his seminar and that shit was like $500, and it was on fucking line. Can you imagine that? Holy shit! And there was like several different packages. I was telling Thomas that earlier. Like there were several different packages. One package was like $1,000. One was like $2,000, and then like it was crazy, man. So like, Tony Robbins is making a killing, and then he goes and write these goddamn books by thought vampiring off other people, and then putting it all in one book. So that's their route. There is listening to other people, and giving people that NEFITE spirit, that they can accomplish and do anything, and they can change their life, and that one positive thought in Enneagram 7 from changing everything about themselves, and to believe in your soul, all that type of shit. Yeah. Is there anything?
Not really. Again, you guys kind of hit the hammer nail on the head. I think galvanizes their chances to becoming a billionaire. But again, better. It's better to be in a family.
Yeah.
You know, or
All right.
be part of
Where
it.
are we going next?
ISFP, F tier. There's really no. I don't feel like I need to explain this.
All right. Why you got him down there, Zar? The athlete that go broke.
I mean, it's pretty easy. Lack of long range thinking. They're tied. They're heavily pegged to their emotions. I don't think that they really even value it as much. I think I just don't think that they have the systematic uh, long arc thinking to be able to create a path towards being a billionaire. Except if they were like an athlete and they just had brand endorsements, but like otherwise, it's very unlikely that they really are willing to make the sacrifices necessary.
Yeah, I think you
I
got
think
some.
they're relatively impulsive.
I think you got some of them like Shaq. In
Yeah, that's the only, but that's like the only path. But like for the most part, no.
I think Shaq early on, I think he got somebody to help him manage his money.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah,
Because if they don't, they're cooked. They're these athletes that go broke.
Yeah.
they are.
I think a large percentage of them are ISFPs.
Yeah, they go broke SFPs, and yeah, they go broke quick.
Yeah,
Fast. All
Oh,
right,
let's buy a Lamborghini. Let's buy a fucking multi-million-dollar home. Just burning it up.
and let's forget about taxes.
yeah,
All right, Thomas, where we going next?
Yeah. I guess let's do ISTJ. I think I might put them A tier.
yeah.
I think I
Me too.
might, just because I mean you do have Warren Buffett. He is a pretty extreme outlier. But he's one of the basically one of the wealthiest people in the world. I think he might be in the top 10. It's definitely in the top 20. He's so they do. There is the off chance that they have like the right skill set. I think we said he's what Enneagram 3 though
Yeah,
probably.
probably Enneagram 3.
I think for majority of them, they're cooked. But if you're an Enneagram 3 ISTJ, I think there is the potential that because you have the TI, I mean the TE, you have the TE. They're systematic, so and because they're SI hero any inferior, I think they're very cautious about not making they don't make bad moves. So if I as far as like what industries are like best suited for them, I think that's hard to say. I think they could probably perform well in a number of industries that they're not going to be solving new problems. They're going to be sticking to the tried and true, but they're going to be very good at performing well in that realm.
Yeah, I think you got some. The thing about ICJs is they're very good at just playing the slow game, right? And the
Yeah.
slow game will generate a lot of money. I think they get good, like they get in ESTJs and like ISTJs end up being COOs, and those people generally make a lot of money. Um,
Not quite billionaires, but yeah, on average, that they may get there.
Yeah, they gonna get there if they do their shit the right way, and keep their money the slow way. They gonna get there. Being COO of like Apple, Google, fucking all those guys. These basically guys balancing the fucking budget sheets and shit like that. Um, and
Yeah,
that's their route there. They do that pretty well. Nobody else wants to fucking do it, right? None of the guys at the top really want to do it because most of the people at the top are big picture oriented, so they don't want to do the little
yeah,
small shit like, oh my god, how much money we spent last week when we went to a corporate dinner, like oh guys, we need to cut down on that, shit like that. So that's going to be a route for them that's always open. And the thing is if you perform well at it, then you can kind of scale it. Like maybe you start at McDonald's CO, and then maybe you transfer over to like Google and shit like that. It's almost like they're coaches and they like get recycled around over and over. It's like coach gets fired and then they go to this company. It's the same thing with the CEOs and CEOs and shit like that. So they just get recycled fucking around. But they're gonna make a shitload of money once they're in that network. Yeah. All right, Zara, where we going next?
I was gonna go with INFJ, and I'd put them for the most part in D tier, with the exception of Ronaldo.
Yeah, yeah,
The lack of ease, the is resource management. I think they do have the long term thinking, but I think but I think they're more people focused in general, and I think that they're probably in the camp that would buy and eat the rich shirt. To be honest, so I just don't think that they really would even want it.
yeah.
I think
I,
they have a more holistic style of thinking
yeah.
on average.
I think these guys are gonna feel guilty about all the money they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're very
Very.
sensitive to other people suffering, right? Like their gifts, a lot of times they could be a little bit tougher, like tough minded when they're in sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when you have like your football players, like the soccer players, a lot of
Yeah.
them INFJs and soccer does pay a ass load of money. You also see some with like basketball as well, like Luka Doncic. I think he's an INFJ.
But I don't think he's a billionaire yet.
He's not a billionaire, but he's still young. That's what I'm saying. Like, but in the
Yeah.
amount of money that they're paying these athletes now, I don't know what the fuck his deal is, but I guarantee you some absurd amount of money. Let me look it up. But like over his career, he's gonna end up being a billionaire. Just to say that if he plays his
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
I mean,
If he let
really,
it.
like we talked about in the most athletic video. I think as a type, they're probably one of the best when it comes to athletics. So that's I think a very good realm for them to go in.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, I think they're too people focused for the most part to really become super successful.
Yeah.
There is that one guy was Jefferson Fisher, he's the lawyer now. He does content creation about like basically like improving your social skills and reading people. He's kind of like a behavior psychologist, is what I would call him. He offers like a ton of great advice. I don't know if he's really in billionaire territory, but I guess I would just mention him as somebody who's able to take the particular skills he has to use his FE parent and capitalize on it, because again they have TE trickster. They're not
Mhm.
These really aren't going to be like business oriented types. They're not going to really they're like the NTs. They're not going to be really solving complex emerging problems in the world, so on and so forth.
Yeah. I think you got like Dr. Mike as well. Dr.
Yeah.
Mike. But he even talks about it like he feels guilty about making all this money and like
Yeah,
he
for
talks
sure.
about like why would a person make all this money and all this other shit. So it's like they beat themselves up with FI critic here. You know, I'm not a good enough person because I got all this money, and then the other people around here hurting. Or Tim Tebow, even though they say he's a slick operator, going out and
Oh,
doing all
really?
this. Yeah, they say he's slick. Well, he wants to help people, but he also lining his pockets at the same time. And they say he don't do it for cheap. You know, like you would think INFJ would do like a meeting or like.
He's like the corrupt preacher.
Well, I would say he's corrupt. I mean, he's lining his pockets. Like,
Yeah,
you gonna make it worth his while to come and preach. You know, he
yeah.
ain't doing this for free.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say he's corrupt because I think he's a good person and stuff like
No,
that.
oh
But
Gotta
yeah. I
maintain the
mean,
he's
yeah.
just
lifestyle.
I'm not
making
saying he's
sure.
not a good person, but
He's just making sure you
Gotta maintain
can.
the lifestyle, though.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just putting it bluntly. You gotta maintain the lifestyle,
He's
especially
maintaining his
it's not
lifestyle.
cheap to be Tim Tebow.
Like he's
no,
not coming there for $1,000. I can say that. Like
no.
you go drain the pocket.
Obviously, You-
Uh,
I mean, Ben. I mean, like if like Ben Shabibo went to some campus, he's probably wanting 50,000, like
yeah,
or
they're not both.
for an event.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at
But
least.
you would think like you care about God so much and all this other shit, you do it for like
Yeah.
free, but nah.
He
But
talks a
I
good
get it
game.
though. I get it because people are gonna cash in on you. So I mean, you might as well do it because people are gonna cash in on you. Like if you came in there and did it for free, then somebody else is gonna be taking all that money for themselves and
Mm-hmm.
using it for negative purposes. So I mean, you might as well take it and then use it the way you see
Well,
fit.
I wouldn't be surprised if he donates a lot of his money anyway.
Yeah, he
He
does.
probably has like fucking like nonprofits or charities or whatever
Yeah,
that he
Yeah.
disperses the money.
yeah.
I know he's
Trying to end that this sex trafficking or
yeah
something.
I was gonna say yeah the sex trafficking. I know that's like his. I think that's his big thing.
Yeah.
You see that shit on fucking Instagram all the time. Like Tim Tebow pops up and it's like the sex trafficking shit, and he's trying to like drop the fucking numbers with T. Trickster, and it's like, what the fuck?
He can't do it.
Well, it just sounds just so odd, you know. It just like it just sounds like off. It's just weird, you know, to see him talk about the numbers. It's almost like
He's not a numbers guy.
yeah, he's not a numbers guy.
He's that numbers guy, okay?
He's not a numbers guy. But like he's like it doesn't matter even if it's one person, then they really it's like that, with the INFJs. It's like even one person matters. It's like okay,
It's like it's emotional reasoning.
yeah, they damn sure hitting that shit on you. But yeah, I
Appeals
do
to
think
emotion, guys. Can't have that.
they really cash
Anyhow.
in on sports though. They really do cash in on sports. Like they
Yeah.
do pretty damn good in sports.
I'm a feelings guy.
I feel-
I'm a yoga guy.
Okay.
I'm a yoga guy. 'Cause they stay doing yoga. All right, T. Where we going next? We only got the big boys left.
Getting down to the nitty gritty. Maybe I guess let's do ENTP. I think I'd also put them A tier.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, as a type, we'll talk about. I mean, as a type, they might have more potential than anybody.
yeah.
It's just their problem, I think, is staying
Mental.
focused on the one thing because they get bored. They get bored and they don't stick with anything. But
Yeah.
in terms of selling people on ideas, they're better than anybody. You think of somebody like Steve Jobs. His claim to fame is selling people that on Apple products being better than everyone else's products.
Hmm.
Are they good products? Yeah, they're good. They're great. But are they better than everyone else? No. I mean, he's better at marketing than anyone else was.
Yep.
Better at branding.
Hmm.
So I think in terms of getting people to buy into their ideas, they're the best. You look at all these streamers, dating coaches, content creators. They're
Hmm.
doing it all the time. They could sit there and yap for hours, and people will sit there and listen to them. They have like this almost like this cult of personality effect on people.
Hmm.
But they are NTs and they do have TI parents, so I think they also do have the capacity to solve fairly complex problems, whether it's problems relating to people or even problems like relating to tech. So we have what's that one guy's name? I think Alex Karp. I think he's Alex
Yeah.
Karp. I believe
Yeah.
he's in
Alex Karp is from Palantir. Yeah.
Palantir. I think he may have also been involved in PayPal. I think he's been involved in a few
Yeah.
different
Hmm.
things, but Yeah, this is an ENTP who has a very developed TI, and who's applying it in like in realms of tech. So I
Mhm.
think, yeah, again, as a type, they're gonna be one of the best. They're gonna have they're going to have one of the highest probabilities of becoming a billionaire. But then, like we've mentioned before, they're probably also one of the types that's very likely to be broke. So that's a very it's very polarizing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing about these guys is that, like I said, any hero is one idea away from being insanely rich. But the thing is, like, they generally don't really care about money, and they don't really care about conserving money. That's their
Hmm.
biggest fucking problem. They will have, like Kanye West. He will have a fucking $200,000 car and give it to his friend with Effie Child. It's like,
5 Lamborghinis, and I'd come home and they'd all be gone. If he was in an episode, and I'd be like, "Oh wait, where's all our cars? Like my new car," and it would be like, "Oh, he gave them away to all of his friends," and then I'd be like, "Huh, okay," and then I'd come home again, and at a different point, we had 5 more Lamborghinis, and then I'd wake up in another episode, and they'd all be gone again. And that time, I was like, "Keep them, guys." Like I don't know what to say, but like
and they be like, man, like Kim Kardashian said she would come home and Kanye been and gave away all this shit. So like that's one of the things, and then also staying out of trouble. I think when they can make the money and stuff like that, but then they'll blow themselves up. They're also very good at like getting other people's businesses going, right?
Hmm.
They can scale other people's businesses pretty damn good as well. Um, and like when it comes to tech, these guys are very good at tech. They can understand things very fast. It's pretty much they can do it all here. The only problem is like they don't stick around to finish a lot of the stuff, so that does get them hit here. Okay, the SI does hit them here. Also with
Hmm.
like designer, they're very good at designing things like clothes and stuff. A lot of designers that people follow usually like might be ENTP. So that's one of the great things they do. And then when you get to the content creators, it's like insane. And the thing is, we need to realize that billionaires are starting to become more like millionaires nowadays because the value of money is just dropping. So like these content creators are gonna start busting in those realms of billionaires. A lot
Hmm.
of these
like
guys.
like Jake Paul.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jake
I'm
Paul,
sorry,
Logan
Logan
Paul.
Paul.
Logan Paul, he's an ENTP, but they're gonna start busting into those billionaire situations. I mean, even with the product Prime, his Prime drink, you know, just in general, like they can get on there and yap about anything, whether it be Skip Bayless. I don't know what Skip Bayless is like money's at, but he's probably got a shitload of it. But in general, like these guys can do it all. The only problem is themselves. It is. I mean, I'm being honest, man. They'll blow themselves up. Like it is what it is, and or like they'll do something where they get ostracized from society, or you be like Kanye and be like worth 2 billion, and then say something crazy, and then people like fucking basically cancel you, right? And now your money ain't worth shit. So it is what it is. Um, all right, Zaro, you want to say anything about the ENTP, or you want to move on?
Move on. I think, yeah, I think ESTJ is another one in the A tier. I mean, it's more of a debate where you would place them.
I think
I think
about
they
it.
might be a little slightly ahead of the ISTJ, like
Yeah.
you just did.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's kind of like the same reasons with the ISTJ. They know how to allocate resources. They climb the corporate ladder. They're effective with managing their money, and they lead pretty stable lives. So I think that they have a decent chance, but I don't know if it's their like grand ambition per se. So
Yeah, I think with the ESCJs here, they're gonna go more CEOO, and then sometimes they'll even get the CEO range as well.
COO, yeah.
They'll get to both of them, but they're more likely to hit CEO than the ISTJ. being more into leadership and things of that nature. Like especially if they get in like the hospital chains and shit like that, they can do pretty well. Or just like insurance and stuff like that. They get in that shit and then start getting all these options from the stock options and shit like that, and they end up making a fucking killing. So I mean, it's not that they build the new idea like the ENTP would, but they come and join the ENTP, right?
Yeah.
That's how they gonna make their fucking money.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be.
CFO.
I think like we said about the ISTJ. I think it's going to be more like the slow and steady route. Most
Mm-hmm.
likely, they're not going to get. They're not going to get rich quick like some of the types at the top here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at least the ones who are. I mean, as a type, I think they're going to be very careful with their money and make good decisions. I mean, there are some exceptions, but yeah, I think the slow and steady route and just making smart moves and being able to not everyone. I mean, most people don't really have the skill set to be like in a CEO position. But as a type, they're better suited for it than almost anybody.
Yeah.
And I think also as a type, they they have the potential, like let's say as a business owner, they have the potential to kind of like scale it up. Like if you look at someone like like Justin Waller, who he got into construction and he started local and then he scaled up his business. Now I think he does construction like all over the country now. So I again he's an outlier, but I think as a type they're better able to do that than almost anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. Can Like I said, like they can flex into like the CEO realm, but also they do very good job. They may not be the founding father, but they jump on top of the founding father, okay, and then go with him all the way up to the top.
Because you need somebody to be able to maintain and manage the systems that you have, and they're not necessarily going to create new systems so much, but maintaining the systems you have. Yeah, I think they're going to be great at that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Zara, where we going next?
ENTJ, probably S tier.
What do you think, T?
Um,
Or A.
I'm not sure I would put them S tier. I think I put them A tier.
Yeah, A
Yeah,
tier is better.
just
Really high chance. Higher
yeah.
chance.
I think top of A tier is probably where they should be.
Yeah.
I think you got your Steve Ballmers, you got your
Mark
uh,
Cubans.
Mark Cuban, you got your what's the guy name?
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison. You get them up there. They're very good at installing systems, getting other people, marshaling resources. Donald Trump's a billionaire too, so throw Donald Trump.
Allegedly, he might be a fake billionaire.
They said his money
Big
went up.
billionaire.
I don't know. They said
Like
his money.
everything.
They say his net worth went up 186% while he's been in office lately. So
He's on that Nancy Pelosi grind.
Yeah.
Fucking like
He
inside
is.
trading. Fucking what
With
the hell
his
is that shit?
with his inside like NFT slash his crypto coin.
don't you know no one knows as much as Donald Trump?
No one knows as
Cryptos?
much. No one knows as much about.
He knows more than the generals do.
He
No
knows
one
more
knows
than
anything.
top investors. You look at the mind he has. He knows a lot about many things. Okay, you look at everything that's going on. He knows more about complex issues. He has concepts of a plan. Okay, he's always got
I mean,
concepts.
quite frankly, I don't think anybody thought this was even possible.
Knows more about taxes than I do and income than I do.
Nobody knows more about construction than I do.
Nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
Nobody knows consultants better than me.
I know more about drones than anybody. Nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology, certainly, than I do. Nobody knows more about technology than me. I know more about technology than anybody. Nobody in the history.
No one. No one ever saw a heist like that. Okay, You
Everything
look
is
at
going really fine. I mean, the war is going to be over very fast. We're proceeding ahead of schedule. What the fuck does that even mean? We're proceeding ahead of schedule. Like sometimes he says shit. Tylenol, take it, not good. What does that mean? Not good. Like, bruh,
Dang it, it's not good. Okay, you look at that.
how do we say it is? Acetaminophen? How do we say it is? Uh-oh. Yeah, he's dyslexic as fuck, but whatever.
And
Um,
I think, well, think you also have like this. You have
Illiterate.
you have the scammer ENTJs as well,
yeah,
like the Patrick Bet Davids, who are
yeah.
just
Running MLM.
complete scammer, complete phony, and that's how he's because they're pragmatic and they're FE demon. I think they look at people like pawns, and that they're about climbing the corporate ladder and just climbing the societal ladder, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I
And
think,
he's
huh?
having high level conversations.
I mean, nobody has high level conversations like Patrick Bet David.
No one.
Especially
Can you imagine the room?
that the one that he had with Donald Trump.
I think the funny
The one he had with BB Netanyahu. That was, I mean,
well,
nobody's seen
BB
a high
also
level
ENTJ.
conversation like that
I
before.
wonder. I wonder what BB's net worth is. Is he?
I'll look it up.
It's billions of shekels for sure.
I want to see what his net worth is, man. BB.
I'm looking it up right now.
Hey Rob, can you
It says
pull up BB Netanyahu's network?
14 million. I'm not buying that. I think BB got more than that.
No way.
I ain't buying that. I'm not buying 14 million.
40 million, 40 to 50 million shekels. You look at that.
But overall, guys, so when it comes to ENTJs, they're very good at being the leader. Like I said, with ENTJs, they're generally going to be the quarterback, by quarterback theory, where like they get all of the praise, but then other people are doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
Right? That's generally what's going to end up going on. They're able to fire people that other people wouldn't fire. I think INTJs have a harder time firing people than the ENTJ does. If you're not getting the resources done, ENTJ has no problem with getting rid of you. But an INTJ is more attached to their vision, right? And you've been with them since the beginning of the vision. So they're going to have a harder time firing you. But an ENTJ, if you're not getting it fucking done, they're going to fire you. So they can, like as Larry Ellison says, the people that made this company a billionaire is not going to be the same people that's going to make this company $100 billion, right? Those are two different type of people. So I got to get rid of the people that's a billion that made me a billions, and I got to get the people that's going in here that's going to make me 100 billion, right? So it's very cutthroat, very nasty. But at the end of the day, that's how business is. It's nasty. So they're very good at installing systems, marshaling resources, getting people to leverage money with them, seeing new emerging trends, pragmatically solving issues, like where it be Mark Cuban. I think he's doing this more of his FI Inferior now, where he's trying to cut drug costs for a lot of people. So he's going about that in a pragmatic way to get drug costs down, because it is people are getting taken advantage of when it comes to drugs. Like sometimes they'll get drugs for fucking cents on the dollar and then charge people hundreds of dollars for those drugs. So he's attacking that. But I do think you can get, what's that one guy who's so fucking obnoxious? God damn. He has the 10x rule.
Is that Grant Cardone?
Grant Carfucking-Done. Goddamn. Grant Carfucking-Done. Jesus. That scamming ass motherfucker. Woo.
But I think that, yeah, the ones you see at like the highest level, like somebody like the Mark Cubans, the Larry Ellisons, I think they take over other industries. Like Larry Ellison, he was with Oracle. I think he started Oracle, and then he's like buying up TikTok, and like they're getting into, because they already have a lot of wealth, they're getting into other industries that they can capitalize on.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? He's gonna be a billionaire soon. He's always making good ass content. Not even gonna lie, like that guy.
What, Alex Hormozy?
Alex Hormozy. But
Yeah.
basically all he does is acquisition.com.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
what
Yeah.
They kind of move their capital around to get more capital or see more, like see how they can improve other people's businesses with
Yeah.
TE. They come in, TE your business, make your business money, and then extract wealth. Moving on to the next one, do the same damn thing.
I think you could probably find a lot in real estate as well, I would think.
And owners,
Like buying up, flipping properties. Well, what is it? Was it called real estate investment? That kind of shit.
and then you also see like what was that guy we looked at? The guy who was it Bob Kane? Was that the guy? The one who wrote Batman?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one who. Yeah, he wrote Batman. Yeah.
Well, he stole Batman, but
Oh, well, if he's an ENTJ, that's not shocking.
He stole Batman. But yeah, bro, like I said, the quarterback syndrome that they got where like, everybody else do the heavy lifting and then they get to be
Yeah.
the ones up there shining with the chest up and getting all the praise and really not
Yeah.
doing much of anything. And don't even
Thomas
know how the
Edison.
business
I'm
works.
guessing Thomas Edison was probably an ENTJ, stealing other people's ideas and profiting off of them.
And people and dumbasses will call him an ENTP.
Oh, what's the other guy, the owner for the Raiders? Remember the guy who died, who was really,
Al
really,
Davis.
what?
Al
What's his name?
Davis.
Al
Al
Davis,
Davis.
another ENTJ.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
No, a retard. Anyhow.
They do pretty well, man. They do pretty well. But
Yeah.
like I said, they figure out a way to basically have everybody else do the work, and then they get all the fame for it. Yeah, it is what it is.
Fair enough.
All right, where we going next, Thomas?
I guess I'll go for INTP when we're down to two types here. So I think INTP we're gonna have to put all the way at the top. You
Yeah.
look at if you look at the top billionaires, top 10, 20, 30, top 100, I think that the bulk of them are going to be INTPs because they have, TI hero. They're, intuitive TI heroes, this systems focused. They're going to be the best at identifying complex, emerging problems in the world and coming up with a solution for them. You look at like your tech billionaires. I mean, I'd say probably like 90% or more of them are going to be INTPs. You have the guys from Google, Sergey Brin, Larry Page. You have
Larry Page, I think is one of them is INTJ.
Oh no,
Larry
you're right. You're
Page.
right. Yeah, I think no. Sergey Brin's
Sergey.
INTJ, but Larry Page is INTP. You have Steve Jobs' partner, Steve Wozniak. He's INTP. You
He did all the
have
work. He did all the work. And Steve Jobs just did all the fucking marketing.
Yeah, exactly. You have the INTP behind the scene doing the work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the bulk of them, I'm not remembering them all off the top of my
Jeff
head, but the
Bezos,
bulk of these tech
Elon
billionaires are
Musk,
going to be
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
INTPs.
Yeah,
I
same
think,
thing.
as we talked about before, I think a lot of them are going to be kind of like basement dwellers. They're not going to be very successful. But I think as a type, like I said about ENTPs, they're going to be one of the types that has the highest potential if they're able to kind of like identify a problem that needs to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, you have Steve Jobs, you have Elon Musk. Steve Jobs, back in the '90s, he had to like sell people on the idea because I think he was a hedge fund manager, so he could have stuck with his cushy
You talking about
hedge
Jeff
fund managing
Bezos?
job and made
I
like
think that I think that's
made a
Jeff
few
Bezos.
hundred $1,000 a year. But he had this idea to capitalize on e-commerce before anyone else really had this idea. This is back like in the earlier mid '90s, and then he had to get people to buy in and sell them like, okay, well, what's the internet? What's the potential here? He had to get people to buy in, but he was able to identify this before anyone else. Because you think if he didn't do it, someone else would have came along and done it. But he was ahead of the curve. And then he starts Amazon the mid '90s or whatever, and then we're 25 years later. Now Amazon's one of the biggest companies in the world. And you look at the guys from Google. Search engines before Google were all trash, but they were able to come up with an algorithm that was superior to every other algorithm out there. And then that's how they were able to build Google into basically one of the biggest companies in the world. And then Elon Musk, obviously he was involved in PayPal. He's done Tesla. He was able to capitalize on the electric vehicle market. You would think that the major auto manufacturers in the U.S. You would think that they would try to capitalize on it, but they didn't. So he was able to basically he's able to dominate this market. These other companies, they had a head start. They should have been able to capitalize, but they didn't because they're stuck in the past. So yeah, I think, yeah, again, as a type, they definitely have the highest potential.
Yeah, so basically, I'm gonna talk about the INTPs here. Like the
Yeah.
thing about these guys is the TI hero can sit down and they can solve complex issues and they can look at it from any and keep flipping and keep flipping and keep flipping it until they solve that issue. And generally speaking, they will have this FE thing that they want to help people with, and they will see it as like, okay, this is something I can do to contribute to people, right? I may not be like, this very warm and blah blah blah, but I can alleviate people's problems by doing X, Y, and Z, and then they will do that. And they'll create these great things like Thomas was saying, like Jeff Bezos with Amazon. The dude was making pretty good money as like some
Hedge
type of
fund, yeah.
hedge fund, and he said, "Fuck that shit." I got other shit to do. And I'm actually pissed that he stepped down as CEO because he put some new guy in. He's fucking ENTJ. You know, I like ENTJs, but like a lot of times your innovation, you need your
It
innovation
dies,
guys with ENTJs a lot of times. You know,
just like Apple.
they can like balance the checkbooks very well, but the innovation is like fucking gone. But like
Yeah.
you got your founding father, like they know how to like switch shit up and to stay relevant. I mean, he's kind of stepped down to go to Blue Origin, which is another thing. Like he's going to space shit,
Yeah.
trying to compete with Elon Musk. So that's another thing to talk about. Like these INTPs here, but on a totally different level. But like we are saying here, what's that one guy for Apple? Tim Cook. Tim Cook. He's an
Yeah, he's the
ENTJ.
CEO.
He's CEO of Apple. He does pretty well, but he's not Steve Jobs. Like this
There's no
Apple,
innovation there
there's
anymore.
no real innovation there. But he does very well with leveraging the money in Apple because Steve Jobs would never take out really debt, really. But Tim Cook is like, you know what? We can leverage that debt, because we're Apple, and they're gonna give us money for essentially free. But Steve
Yeah.
Jobs would never do that. So that's the one thing that you see with ENTJs. They'll come in and try to like clean up the pipeline, but the innovation will die. And if you don't innovate, you will die.
Hmm.
It is what it is. There, is there anything you want to say about
And
INTP here?
not really. You guys kind of hit the nail on the head already.
Yeah.
The last one, obviously, INTJ, for A
Okay.
tier.
Yeah. Like
That's the. It's pretty obvious, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. These two right here, most likely to be the billionaires on your list. Like it's one, two, or three. Like either INTP, INTJ, and then you got some ENTJs and some ENTPs. But that's mostly your billionaires that did not inherit their wealth. It's gonna be one of these four a lot of time.
Yeah.
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 I
I
mean,
mean,
the INTJ it's because they're vision focused. They know how to leverage. They know how to leverage other people. Um, I think that they're pragmatic. They'll do whatever is necessary, and I think that they just have the ancillary thinking, and I think that they know the concatenation to get there because they can reverse engineer the vision so they can move forward.
mhm.
So yeah, I think that they're the most. I think they have the most realistic outlook because they know the process behind the mechanics of the infrastructure of building or scaling a company. So that should be pretty self evident.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shout out to the five Enneagram INTJs because those are like most likely your billionaire tech guys.
Enneagram 5.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, like
Really?
what Jensen Huang,
Yeah.
Sergey Brin,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mark
Mark
Yeah, that
Zuckerberg.
makes
Zuckerberg.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
So,
definitely five
so
star.
they're the ones that usually gonna come out with your tech shit here. And
Yeah. But
those are the
they're
ones that
innovative.
are.
They see paths to be for innovation. They can see divergent ways and kind of converge on them. So that's why they're really dominant in tech or other spaces because they can chart a path towards towards scaling a business and or large companies. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
self evident.
I
And
mean, just like if you see Mark Zuckerberg, he's already looking 20, 30 years in the future for the
Yeah.
metaverse.
Yeah,
So like
that's what you kind of need. You need that sort of foresight. You need to be able to kind of be able to explore paths that haven't been charted before, and I think that's what it takes. And I think you have to have that kind of spirit and that sort of grit and determination and will. And I just don't think most people have it. And I think INTJs typically do. I think the main difference between them and INTPs is INTPs just find problems and find solutions,
hmm
whereas INTJs find a s- a modus like a they
It's the
find
NE. It's the
a
NE.
yeah
The NE. Like INTPs had that NE, and it does help with creating like solving problems. While like INTJs, they don't have as much NE, so it's gonna take them a lot longer.
I think yeah but I think that INTJs can find like a life purpose
hmm
and I think that's where and that's how they find that's what they and when they pursue it they go all out on it and they go big.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
got the INTJs who bring people into their vision. and those INTJs are going to be very, very rich. They can get people to buy into the vision.
The thing about Zuckerberg is I feel like he's basically just he's stolen like a lot of his ideas, and then been able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he didn't create Instagram. He had bought Instagram. He bought WhatsApp. He started Facebook, but I think there was some controversy behind how Facebook started. I don't think it was 100% his idea.
Maybe he stole the ENTP.
What do you say?
I think he stole the ENTP idea or something shit like that.
But
And
it started as something very small. Like I think it was supposed to be a social network for his college, and then he was just able to scale it up to the entire world. And he was ahead of the curve. I mean, before him, you had MySpace, which MySpace was good in its own right, but I guess his
I think,
idea
yeah.
was more marketable.
Yeah, again, I think it's once the INTJ finds their race on Tetra, they will chart their path towards becoming a billionaire.
they never stop.
And they don't stop because
Well,
they see
well,
it as a continual
and
process.
the thing
Even
is
Vince McMahon.
once like you
Vince
look at
McMahon.
someone like Zuckerberg, once he's on the path, his NI is
Yeah.
getting different insights
Yeah.
about how he
Yeah.
can improve things, because NI is about refining things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Optimization. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, like look at Vince McMahon. Like once they're locked on one thing, they never give it up, bro. Like they're the founding father that's never leaving. Like that's you really want to get those guys. Like if you're like buying stocks, like you really want to get those guys because they're never leaving. Like as an
Yeah.
ENTJ, he might just leave and go somewhere else, because they're not locked into it from a NI perspective. As like NI hero is locked into it because it's their dreams, their vision. It's everything to them. Like without that, they're nothing. So they're gonna stay. Like Vince McMahon, you have to kill him to get rid of WWE. I mean, he left and then came back, and now they had to get rid of his ass again. I guarantee he's not happy. He's probably charting his course back to that bitch. But that's just generally how you see a Jensen Hong and shit like that. Like man, like they're gonna be there forever, and you like to see that if you are buying that stock. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, CEOs make a huge fucking difference. A huge fucking difference. I'm not happy about fucking Jeff Bezos stepping out. It's been a couple years and my stock ain't really been doing that great. I'm like, this motherfucker, bro. Goddamn, this goddamn ENTJ. Get your shit together, boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so anything we want to change around here, guys? So we got at the top, most likely to be a billionaire. In S tier, billionaire DNA, taking home the cake. Shout out to the INTPs that view our shit. We got y'all as number one, and then we got INTJ behind that. We okay with these two?
Yeah, I think so.
And then as A tier, the tycoons, we got ENTJ, then ENTP, then ESTJ, then ISTJ. Anything we want to move around?
No.
All right, ENTPs, you guys gonna be crying in the comments. We don't want to hear it. So C tier, unlikely, but not impossible. We got ENFP, ESTP, and then ISTP. Want to move anything around?
No.
I think we got this one pretty good. D tier, in another life, you could be a billionaire. We got INFJ, ENFJ, and then INFP. Anything we want to move around?
I mean, if you want, you could actually put ISTP and D tier, to be honest, but that's in.
We want to move ISTP down?
Yeah, just move them down one.
Damn.
Yeah, that's perfect. We can't. Because most people aren't going to get to the top. And if anything, you could even move ISTJ to C tier because it's just like one anomaly.
I think you could,
Buffett.
yeah. If we're gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably put them behind ENFP.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Ideas.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks
I
better.
actually got to play the long game to be a
Yeah.
billionaire.
All right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So F
Now
tier,
it's Chef
shut the
Kiss.
fuck up. Will, ESFJ, ISFJ, ISFP, and then ESFP last. Because we got down to the bottom and we're like, okay, if they generated fucking money, who will be able to keep it? And the ESFP probably not keeping that shit at all. So while ESFJ and ISFJ, if they were born into money, they probably can keep it, but the SFP is probably not. Okay, just how we see it. We good with that, guys?
Yeah, I think so.
That's perfect. It's a great list, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe.
All right, guys. So that was,
Recommend a tier list.
Yeah,
yeah.
recommended list, obviously.
Yeah, so guys, that was fun. I mean, wasn't much we could do around with that as much as we would like to. It was basically like most people ain't gonna be fucking billionaires, and the top billionaires are most likely to be NT. So we know there's gonna be a lot of people crying because if they're not an NT, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not at the top of the list, and woe is me." But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Comment below another tier list you guys would want us to do. It was fun. Zara T, anything y'all want to say?
No.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.